Hi, this is your girl Red Rose Elder Missionary. I like to start by saying that I was a Zulu and he put a ring on it, and I'm now a Piri. So today I would like to introduce to you an amazing segment that we'll start to look at now alongside the BBC. So this segment is called Married and Mastering. Alright, so basically this segment is trying to showcase godly couples out there. We believe that marriage is a good idea and not just a good idea, and we know that a lot of people out there have a lot of questions around marriage. You know, is marriage Shibikisha club? You know, is it possible to attend perpetual honeymoon, and so on and so forth. And today I'm being joined by an amazing couple. Before I say much about them, I'd like for them to just pretty much introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Olipa. I was a kunga, but there is an amazing dude right here. Put a ring on it. I've got 2 rings, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and now I'm a Nyimbilis.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hi everyone, I am the Nyimbilis.
That's a good one. You were like Olipa, then you put a ring on it, you are now Olipa Nyimbilis, and he is
The Nyimbilis.
amazing. And one exciting thing about today is that you are clocking how many months in marriage?
7 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so 7 months ago, you know, they tied a knot, and today, you know, what an amazing setup here. Today we are doing this, you know, this recording on actually their 7th month anniversary. You know, I wish you all the best, guys. Like, marriage is just amazing. Anyway, so like I mentioned, this segment is about marriage and mastering. All right. For me, I believe that it's possible, you know, to be fulfilled in marriage. You know what I mean? And one of the things that God put upon my heart is to expose, you know, people to godly marriages like yours, so that they can learn 1 or 2 things. So we are hoping that this program will definitely, you know, encourage people to know that, you know, God is still looking forward to having them, seeing them get married and getting fulfilled. And if they're married, to enjoy their marriage, because, you know, there are a lot of other things going around there. But before we get into the meat of this discussion, guys, I wanted to find out, you know, yeah, so how did you meet? Briefly, how did you meet? And what was the first impression of each other? Briefly.
Okay, so we met some years back.
Okay.
I was at I remember well, but I was at the barber shop. So I saw this pretty lady just pass, and the spirit within me moved. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I had to put together some courage, and I walked over to her. So to cut the story short, I ended up escorting her up to her house, and I came back with her phone number.
Wow. Good. Yeah. And you, how did you?
Just to add some thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah,
feel
so
free.
actually it was my husband was the great teacher for my young brother. Yeah. So apparently the time I left, my parents were away, so I went to pick up the keys. So when he saw me, he asked my brother, because he came to give me the keys, if like the relationship. That is when my brother told me. I mean, my brother told him that I was the elder sister. So from there, that's when he saw me at the barber shop, you know. So he asked after my brother, and he wasn't feeling too well. So he said, okay, let me use this time to just go and check up on your brother. I said, no, but you can come later.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is
how you met.
How
Great.
we met, yeah.
So, like, he's told us about what, you know, struck him the most, you know, about you. He talked about how you were like beautiful, you know, and then for you, when you saw him, like, was it like first love at first sight?
I'm like, no.
Then what happened?
This is not the one.
Then what
Like,
happened?
wow, like he was just too good to resist.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And has anything changed? Is she still the most beautiful woman? Is it still difficult, like impossible to resist? Now that you're 7 months in marriage?
I'm sure you can be my witness.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Still sparkling.
Okay.
Still on top of things.
Ah.
Oh yes. So we thank God,
Yeah, that's
but
amazing.
we are still on the journey.
Great, great.
Oh, yes.
So I have a couple of questions for you. The first one, we want to hear your story. All right. Now that I know now you know better, because you're like 7 months in marriage and you're still going. But I'll start with you, Mr. Nyimbilis. Mr. Nyimbilis. Like, what was your picture of marriage before, you thought about getting married? Like, did you have any fantasies, any myths? Did you think about marriage at all? Do you want to tell us that part of you? I know it's a long time ago. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Theory, Red Rose. So I would say getting into a relationship back then, I would say I went into a relationship not really defining what I was looking for.
Okay.
Of course, I was moved by what I saw, rather by what I saw, but I don't think I had any proper intentions, I would say.
Okay.
So even the picture of marriage was not as huge, I would say. So for me, I went into the relationship because I had to be in a relationship with this beautiful young lady. But then along the way, the dynamics had to change because for how long are you going to date? So basically, I would say my picture of marriage wasn't very defined.
Okay.
Yes, to put it in a nutshell, I didn't really have anything in those lines. I don't know if I speak for the rest. I think I might be speaking for a lot of young men out there who go into relationships not really knowing what they are going in there for. So I was one of those.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it because you're not exposed to like marriages around you, or what? Or like you were just not interested in, why do you think you were at that place? Like, is it a man's thing where like marriage is not a priority, or you just, I don't know, like.
To be honest, marriage just never popped up.
Okay.
Like in my thoughts, it wasn't just there. It was good to be in a relationship, but where we are headed, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So it's just something that was never just coming up.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And you, Oliver, what picture of marriage did you have? Yeah, before you even got in a relationship.
Okay, so like for me, I really wanted to get married, but I didn't know why I wanted to get married.
Okay.
So like, because like being in school, everyone has a boyfriend, or maybe everyone wants to get married at some point. So but you don't get to define why you want to be in that relationship. It could be for fun, or you just want to make a name. Like, after she completed school, she also got married. So I did want to get married, but I really didn't know why I should get married. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have an idea? Is it just the people that you interact with that made you want to get married, or did you have any picture of you wanted to get married, didn't know why, but did you have a picture of the kind of marriage you're going to have?
No, I didn't have a picture of that.
So for
I
you,
just wanted to get
so
married.
for you, just wanted to get.
I just wanted to get
very
married.
interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting, because for him he didn't have a picture.
I
but
just
you had
wanted
the
to get married.
Great, thank you so much for your honesty. But then, what changed for you? I'll start with you, Mr. Nyimbilis. Like, what changed? Why did you become all of a sudden interested in marriage?
Okay. So I think along the way, like I said earlier, the dynamics kind of changed in that first of all, there was pressure from my wife to be there. She wants to get married. I'm in this relationship for such a long time.
How long were you in the
quite
relationship?
some time. we are not going to.
It is well.
Yes, the years might scare people off, or
But
they
whatever the
might
case,
encourage.
I don't think they're more than my age. Because for me, I was in a relationship for like 8 years. Not with my husband, but with my ex. But anyways, don't mention
But it was
it.
close to that.
Yeah,
So you were in a relationship, then you started to receive pressure.
Yeah, there was also, the society
Yes.
pressure, a lot of society pressure, and people asking how long, and there's pressure on my wife's end. So that pressure basically kind of had its toll on me as an individual, and apart from that, because I think pressure eventually we all learn to deal with it, especially society pressure. You say,
Yes.
okay, whatever, let them talk.
Yeah.
But then I think along the way, I also came to meet the right people. Yeah, so the right people actually kind of now made my perspective of marriage change.
Okay.
I now attached value to the institution.
Great.
Yes, so
Great.
now that's kind of flipped the whole situation upside down, because now I see value in this institution that I really didn't define in the first place.
Great. Just a quick question. So, like, what made you to start thinking about marriage? Was it the pressure, or it was the people that you met that changed the way you looked at marriage, or both?
I'd say it's a blend of both.
It's a blend of
yes,
both.
Yes, I would say it's a blend of both.
Okay.
Definitely.
So the reason why I'm asking is I've heard a lot of people that sometimes jump out of relationships because their girlfriends ask them when they'll reach home. you didn't feel that kind of pressure. Or you say, oh my God, like she's asking me to marry her. Let me just, dump her. I need my peace. Because I know a couple of men, most men, like they complain and say, she has to settle down and so on. Obviously, yeah. But you didn't feel that kind of pressure, did you?
So the jumping the ship was never really an option. I know I was serious from the word go, but then I think the point is I didn't have I would call it a policy direction. Yes, I didn't really have it figured out.
Good.
But in terms of the woman, I was certain. But the direction, and I think that's where now it actually had an impact on her, because I'm telling her I want to be with her, I love her, but I'm not promising marriage. There is no clear direction, and I think that became very difficult for her to comprehend what I'm communicating.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe what was in your head when we didn't have a clear picture of
This guy is not serious. He's playing with me. Maybe it's time I start looking around. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And for you, what changed? Like, obviously, you just wanted to get married. I bet you didn't get married blank, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, did you at any point started to get interested in what marriage was really about?
Yeah.
So what really happened between the girl who just wanted to get married without having any idea of marriage to a lady that, knew what marriage was about?
So like my husband said, we really thank God for the people that just came into our lives. Yeah. So like after we started talking about it, we started talking about marriage and how ready we are. So we thought we identify mentors so we can be accountable. So that is where the whole journey, the couple that we go to, and just share with them. So like they would also share their marriage journey and what we need to do in that moment as we are waiting to get married. So like being accountable changed a lot of things for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they started looking forward to getting married the right way.
The right way.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We jump. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I liked what you talked about, how you were able to identify a couple that worked with you so that they could give you an idea of what marriage was about and so on. And I think if you are watching, it's something that you want to do, be it you're just in a relationship, you've just gotten married, or gotten married for a couple of years. It's always important to have a couple that you look up to, that you can go and share your different challenges, your different achievements and so on, because that will help you. Like, I believe that there's no need for anyone to suffer now when there are always people that have gone ahead of you. One of the things that my husband and I do is we also have couples that we look up to, you know, even though we are 7 years in marriage, but we are also accountable to couples, because there comes a time that you need more wisdom, more knowledge, you know, you want to be able to have a space where you get that from. Great. Let's talk about marriage preparation. Yes, so how was your marriage preparation?
I think it was okay. Like, it was okay. For me, I'm very grateful. Like, looking back, I'm so grateful that I didn't get married the time I was really crying for it. Yeah, because then I didn't have more knowledge about it. I also didn't have the right people in my life.
Yes.
Not that I had all the bad people, but I didn't have the right people that I had the time we were getting married or preparing for marriage. So, like, I was really grateful that we had a lot of pillars. So not ordinary pillars, but people that are God fearing. Yeah. So we also positioned ourselves very right. So we would talk to people on our differences, or maybe talk to them about our failures. Yeah. So maybe the other thing was, as I was preparing, yeah, maybe the other thing that I can talk about was I now had the right attitude. I had the right knowledge. So I knew what I was getting myself into. Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, so I want to get married and boom, I'm married. No, I now had an idea of what it was going to cost me.
Yes.
Like a lot of time, a lot of commitment and all that. So I really thank God that I had
The right people.
the right people that helped me just understand what is expected of me and just marriage in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe whilst you are there, I wanted to find out, like, if you had an opportunity to ask, you had an opportunity to help someone prepare for marriage, what are maybe some of the 3 nuggets that you can give them that will help them to prepare adequately, for marriage? Like for you, by the time you got married, obviously you were ready for it, right? Like, what are some of the 3 things that, I know you've talked about having godly couples around you that you can go to and access godly wisdom, knowledge, and so on, being accountable. Any other thing that you think is good for preparation before you get into marriage?
Okay. I'll still mention the same one I mentioned. Like, you really need godly counsel, because every day, and it's really bad out there, especially when they know you are now getting married. So that means everyone will be able to speak into your life, speak into your preparation. So you have to be conscious and deliberate about you seeking godly counsel. Yeah, so that should be the first thing. Like, just position yourself right as you prepare, because people will talk. People will say something about you as you prepare, because everyone has been through the same road, just the truth that you carry, what makes us different. Yeah. Then the other thing that I can talk about is, as you prepare for your wedding, is also marrying your dream wedding with reality.
Great.
Yeah, because especially us ladies, I'm sure the guys are like, they
just want to marry you.
They just need a black suit. I just need a black
suit, black tie,
everything. Yeah. So, like, for ladies, I think you really need to sit down with yourself, like sit yourself down and just marry the two, because you have to. Reality will help you just look at what you have now, and your dream wedding will be like, I want a Benz, I want 4 wedding dresses, but you can't afford them. So if you marry the two, what that will do is you still have an amazing
dream wedding, but realistic.
Exactly, within your budget, within your means. You don't have to stress, because like my pastor used to say, there's life after the wedding, so you have to really marry the two. Yeah. Then very important. Yeah. Then the other thing is also, you need to know why you're getting married.
Great.
Like, back then, I was going to be shocked. Like, I'm like, I didn't expect this, But if you need
to maybe tell us a bit about your expectations. Like, what did you think marriage was all about?
Just going to, you don't clean the house.
Yes, you just come.
Gives you a pay.
Every day
it brings pizza. You don't have to do the dishes all the time. You don't have to cook. Same people that you have to do all that.
It's just the two of
it's
you.
Just the two of you, and it's just, oh my God.
But now that you know better.
Oh my God, yes.
You are laughing at your younger self, right?
Yeah. So you have to prepare clothes for two. Like when ironing, you have to prepare clothes for two. But then I used to think maybe you'll be taking them to the laundry. So it's very important for one to know why they really want to get married. I think that will also guide them. It's not even about people, you know. Some people, it's like, because people are talking, you know, I'm now 42, I'm now 30, you know, I need to get married. But it's about having the right attitude, knowing why you're getting married, and having the right partner in your life. You can imagine if you just, because you want to get married, you just go for anyone, you know, and that is,
You can't even imagine.
I can't even imagine, like, forever with the wrong person.
Oh my
like
goodness.
that's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Like, I like how some people put it, to say that if you think love is blind, marriage will open your eyes. So it's true. Thank you so much. Lisa, you need anything you want to add on? Like, what are some of the nuggets that you would give a young man to prepare for a marriage? Remember, I'm not talking about wedding, I'm talking marriage, you know, but wedding obviously is one of them.
Wow, okay. So thank you so much. I would want to touch on the aspect of making up your mind.
Okay.
I think it is very, very imperative. I've spoken with a number of young men who ask me the question, how do you know she's the one? I think that's one of the excuses young men, and the devil makes the young men make mistakes, because somehow there's this agreement that you will know she's the one, but there's really no way of knowing she's the one. So most people ask you, how do you know she's the one? I'm like, you know she's the one when you ask her out, because once you have taken that step, the rest is work. So you should be able to, you don't expect some magical, like a fountain to just spring up when you see her, so that you know that she's the one. No. You have to work towards making her the one. But the first step towards you moving is in essence telling you that she's the one.
So meaning, if you're not sure, don't move.
Don't move if you're not sure.
Don't move and
Don't.
be in a relationship like me, and you keep in a relationship for 8 years,
Yes,
and you're
then
saying she's not the
8 years,
one.
yes, 8 years later, you're like,
She's not the one.
she's not the one. You should have known in the beginning.
In the beginning,
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
So basically, I think one of our biggest problem is not making up our minds and yet walking along.
Wow.
So I think it would be wise if you are gonna get in a relationship, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Of course, you should also now learn to work together. You need to be in agreement, and in this case, I mean, because there's pressure that comes. You know, I keep going back to pressure because it is always there.
Yes.
Not that there's no relief. But pressure is, I think, it's easier to deal with pressure when you're in agreement. Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, because imagine I'm talking to my wife, I'm giving her the story, like, I will marry you, but then she's listening to the third party,
That's
which is
confusion.
society. That's confusion. So one of the things I think that helped us even towards our marriage journey, and in fact even the wedding, was basically shielding each other's back, I would say. So we were in agreement. It's not like one of those me and us, is me and my girlfriend against the world. No, we were in agreement, but then we were also walking along, not necessarily like throwing everyone out like, okay, we got this. No,
But
it
choosing
was a
who,
matter.
allowing, like being cautious of who you allow to work with you.
Yes. Because if you leave it open, it's disaster.
Yes.
Then also being the cover, it is very necessary that as men we need to be the cover. Now this is both spiritual and also just in real life covering. Like you need to be the cover for your woman, because if you don't provide the cover, she remains vulnerable.
Wow.
And you don't want that to be the case.
Wow.
So
Wow,
I
that's
think
deep.
I would want.
Thank you so much. That's deep. So before we conclude, I wanted you to just tell us. I know you've talked about a lot of good stuff. Like, what are some of the things that make your marriage work? You know, people say marriage is a club. You get married well, then after 1 year, 5 years, then you start to suffer. You know what I mean? So, like, how do you make your marriage? Is it Shipikisha Club maybe for you guys? Yeah, is it?
No.
Yeah, Mr. Nyimbilis, is it Shipikisha Club?
No.
Yes. So, but how do you make it work? Like, how do you continue to look on point, to look happy, genuinely? Like, what? Or do you just sit and it works itself out? You know, what makes your marriage work? Maybe you can share with before we conclude.
So, what makes our marriage work is work.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to tell us more?
Yeah, so we need to work. So part of the work we have been deliberate of doing is just be able to communicate. Yes. So I think when we just got married, it's like, okay, you're not doing this. Okay, so you're going to give the silent treatment. That is, yes. So we noticed that was eating into our time. So instead of having
Quality time
together, you know, talking to each other, you know, and so we thought, we actually sat down and just talked about it. So we agreed that we talk about stuff. So if you're not happy about something, your friend won't guess. You have to talk. So that is work.
That's a good point. Don't expect your man, your woman to guess that you need to talk. Yes, communication.
There's no guesswork. So you should have known.
that.
You should have known.
Yes.
I expected you to think, you know. So there's no such thing, because we also need to understand to say we are wired different.
Yes.
You know, he's a man and yeah, we are one, but we still need to work, and we need to learn how to work as a team. So we've learned how to communicate, even on the tiniest thing. If he puts a lot of sugar in my tea, I'm not supposed to give him moves. You know, like by now you should learn. By now you should learn that I only take 2 teaspoons. No, so you communicate with the little things. So I think that has really helped us. Yeah.
Yeah, great. What about you? So effective communication and confronting issues. You, Mr. Nyimbilis.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll not take anything away, just a bit of sugar. So I would also one thing that that we learned, I think, counseling premarital, was that it is important to establish that you are teammates.
Okay.
You are on the same team, but that doesn't necessarily mean that teammates will not have disagreements. So with that whole concept, it kind of helps, because you realize that along the way there might be friction, but the end goal is that you are one.
Great.
Yes, and since we are one, it will be hurting me to actually hate on my partner. So in the end, there's eventually, if she feels the pain, I feel the pain. So the aspect of us working as teammates is something that we have actually put as one of our cornerstone, where we just say, okay, we're in this together regardless. But then after all is said and done, there's no running out from the fact that at the center of everything, God being at the center of the marriage is just what does the deal. Because without God, without the grace, because we all fall short. Yes. So without the grace that is sufficient and new every day, it would be impossible. So it is not within our own strength and our minds, but all the areas, all the things that we've talked about in this session are things we can actually fall short on. But God's grace is always sufficient.
Great.
So after we said and done, we basically submit to the throneship of God in our marriage, and that is the chief cornerstone of where we stand.
Wow. I can imagine having such a kind of a husband who knows that Christ is the head. That's amazing. So, your conclusion, all right? Like, what advice would you give out there? If you want, you can talk about expectations, you know. If you want, you can say pretty much anything. Like, what is maybe the one thing or two things or one thing that you'd love that young man that is watching to listen to and say, man, like, you know, this is my takeaway. What about that young lady that is watching right now? Like, what is the one thing that you can tell her, you know, that in case they've forgotten about everything, they haven't heard anything, what is the one thing that you can say to them? I don't know who wants to start first.
I can go first.
Okay.
So maybe just in a minute or so, I would say basically we need to invest in knowledge about marriage, especially as men. So I feel there is not a lot of investment. There's investment in a lot of things except marriage. And unfortunately, the results show thereafter. Even the investments we spend so much time and money on end up falling apart because our marriages are not working. So I would encourage, if you are a young man out there and you are looking,
Maybe you can look through the camera and say
yes. So for all the young men out there looking to get married, I would encourage you to take a deliberate step to invest in knowledge about marriage. But then this is just not general knowledge, but go for the right counsel. And in this context, I mean godly counsel. There's a lot of people out there that are equipped with the necessary tools. I think it is also important that you just don't get marriage advice from anywhere, because it's there. It's there. There's people that will give you the information you want, but then the way it is packaged. So go for the right package, and the right package is a godly package. So it is very, very necessary. Then I was also going to talk about expectations. Yes, thank you so much.
Talk to that young man.
Yes, so it is very, very also important that you manage the expectations that you have around marriage. Yes, because I think the world has its own view of marriage, and that kind of feeds on what we expect from marriage. So you want to be, I think this is pretty much emanating from being in the right counsel. So if you are in the right counsel, you will not struggle when it comes to what to expect in marriage. And even when you find something that you were not prepared for, you will not be shocked like, what? I'm taking you back, I didn't expect this. Instead, you'll be equipped to deal with those lapses in terms of what you expected. Yes.
Wow, great.
Thank you so much.
Oliver, do you want to look in that camera and just give us your last words?
Okay.
And like any word on expectation as well?
Okay, not a problem. So maybe it's because we are one with my husband, so I just said everything that.
Okay, just add on.
All right. So for that young lady out there, so let's work with God's time, because it's always the best time. You can have your own schedule, you can have your own timing, but God's timing is the best. So I would advise you that you surround yourself with the right people, seek godly mentorship, like my husband said, and also avoid people that speak negative about you and about marriage in general. You know, it's not about age. So like for me, I feel a lot of people that feel that you need to run with time. You know, you need to move with time. I think there's a time when I was 21. I really wanted to get married. So let's not move with time. Let's not move with our age. Yeah, let's not move with our age. But you know, so like the Bible says, like before you were formed, God knew you. So God already knows the plan and the man for you. But you also want to position yourself right.
Yes.
So we also want to be deliberate about the places that you are found. Like, what are you doing?
Great.
Where are you found? You know, a lot of people have all this picture of a husband, a God-fearing man, but what are you doing about yourself? So want to use this time to invest more in yourself, because there is also work when you get married or when you find a partner, you need to invest in your partner, in your marriage. But this is the only time, single ladies, please.
You can invest in yourself.
In yourself, please invest in yourself. Yeah, and invest the right things in yourself.
Okay, good. And then expectations?
I think expectations.
Or maybe said all of it.
All of them. So I think managing them, because we expect too much. So maybe we need to manage the two. Yeah.
You see on Telemundo and you're
And
like,
you want to have the exact relationship.
Great. So, Mr. and Mrs. Nyimbilis, thank you so much for finding time to come. I want to assure you that this, data or information that you've uploaded will go a long way. You don't know a young man, a young woman out there that is watching, and you get what I'm saying. Like, I want to say thank you on my behalf and on the behalf of those people whose lives are never going to be the same because of what you've offloaded. And to the rest of you who are watching, thank you so much for joining. For joining us. Remember that this has been Married and Mastery. So this is the very first couple that we featured, and look out for many other couples that we interview. We'll look at issues of infidelity, we'll look at issues of mixed race, we'll look at issues of different things concerning marriage. But at the end of it all, we want you to watch it and be inspired, be transformed, and let God work through you. So it's been your girl Red Rose Urban Missionary, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.